are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
How about now?
Anthony! Please tell me, Michael, that you could hear us.
If he can't now, there's a serious issue.
Your guess is, though, he can?
My guess is, though, he can. Michael.
Yes!
Yes, Michael.
What would we do without Michael?
Let's go.
Honestly?
I don't thank God he's watching.
Really appreciate the technical assistance.
My God.
Yeah, so, a couple things to go over here, but let's get started in the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Cy-Yo, nada, where did that land?
Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires, out at first.
There it goes, see ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right.
And it's funny, last night I mentioned Bulls New York teams were off, but I don't know if you could catch my drift here, Tony, but in a way, I feel like the Mets actually won a game. Do you know where I'm going here?
Because of the Braves?
Yes. Well, the Braves won, but you didn't see? Albies broke his foot.
No shit.
Yes,
I did not see.
Massive loss.
I mean,
for the
Braves. I mean, I hate to wish injury upon anyone, but I mean that's pretty huge for the Mets. I would say finally, someone else is dealing with some injuries here.
Yeah. They win though. I mean, what is that? Is it 8th straight? 12 straight. That's crazy. But I mean, they did the same thing last year. And then Phillies remain hot, winning again. They're one game over 500.
Mm-hmm.
They literally must have hated Girardi.
Oh,
yeah. He's never going to work again.
I can't believe that. Well, I don't know about never working again, but what do you think it was with him? Like, I mean, he obviously, he knows how to win. He's a good ball player. He seemed like he was a good manager when he was with the Yankees, right? I mean,
but Dogs said it a million times. It doesn't matter what sport we're talking about. The modern day athlete is coddled. That's the problem. They can't take anything. Girardi, like what he did to Sanchez. And I'm sure he does that, like little things with the guys in the Phillies, especially Harper. Like imagine him trying to tell Harper something. Harper's like, dude, you hit 200 in your career. Don't even talk to me. Yeah. That's literally probably what Harper's saying.
Yeah, but then so what? I mean, what about who's the guy? Thompson is in there now, right? Like what?
Because he's always been a player's guy. He was so popular in the Yankee clubhouse. So, and you know what I mean? They probably like it like, okay, we're rallying around him. Right. He's so grateful to be in this opportunity. I could see Girardi acting a little entitled, like, oh, I've already won a World Series championship. Right. You guys can't even get to the playoffs. I do feel like that has a big part in it.
It's tough for him, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really think he doesn't get a job?
No, I don't.
Back to the network?
Back to the Yes Network, possibly. Maybe like, I got fired from another job. I'm a Yankee. I was part of a perfect game. You know what I mean? He's got some juice to him.
Yeah. No, certainly a lot of juice.
So we'll see what happens there. And then I know you were riled to see Alex Manoah, Tony, last night.
Yes, baby.
Dealing for his 8th victory of the season, 1.67 ERA on the season as the Blue Jays rout. I mean, we got to get a Manoah soundbite because you could see him coming to New York, whether it's the Yankees or the Mets, though, down a couple of years, right? Because he's going to, I mean, if he keeps up this pace, he's going to get a $400 million contract.
Easily.
So you look at the line last night, 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, Bronx 718. Let's go Yankees. That is what it's all about, Tony.
He loves that Bob Ross emoji thing, huh?
I mean, whatever works, right?
Yeah.
How about Vladdy Listen last night, though? Hit his 15th.
Finally, I thought we've been saying that for days.
Blue Jays are coming on. After
some
some early season struggles. So I think they're going to be the Yankees' top competition. I know the Red Sox have been somewhat hot, but I just think their rotation's so bad. They're talking about Sale possibly out of the bullpen. I just feel like I don't know. I don't think they're the same team this year. I mean,
Sale's like just riddled with injury, right? Like you just can't.
Yeah, and speaking of, you see Strasburg back on
tough,
the deal,
dude.
Yeah, so it just seems like he just can't get it together.
Shit.
So that's kind of tough. But I mean, I think it's one of those things where you throw so hard for so long, it just catches up to you. And I think that's what we're seeing with Steven Strasburg. And also just back to the Blue Jays for a second. I think the scary part with them is they haven't even started hitting, and their record's pretty good.
Right.
Vlad leads them with 15 home runs. Bichette, is hitting 270, 10 home runs. Springer is actually doing the best, 282, 12 homers. And then you look at Matt Chapman, only slugging 371. I mean, do you think he's damaged goods at this point? Like we might not see the old Matt Chapman that we saw offensively, in Oakland?
No, I think you have some more time for him for sure. I guess maybe give him some time just to still, I guess, adjust to the team. I mean, it's a very different team when you're playing with this Blue Jays team here. But I would say, I don't know, by the trade deadline, if he's not kind of
Matt Carpenter.
Yeah.
I know you're all for Matt Carpenter, comeback player of the year.
Dude, how could you not be?
I mean, what a story.
Right?
Honestly. And I heard relentlessly worked in the offseason, the hitting coach and stuff, was determined to say, even though the last couple of years I've hit under 200, that I can still, contribute in this game. And, to have that motivation when he's made $89 million, you don't usually see that once guys are that age. They kind of just pack it in. Oh, I've made enough. I'm not going to struggle through this.
The man clearly loves baseball. And, to be in New York and to love baseball, I mean, that would fire him up even more.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So if you could be of assistance, Tony, I know some of the outcomes here, but I just wanted to update our picks from yesterday. So,
did you get them wrong a little bit?
No, I'm saying just so I can update the record. So we know the Blue Jays won.
Correct.
What about the Padres?
Padres won.
Okay, so that Astros
lost
and Giants
won.
Okay, so I went 3-1, so that's gonna be 7-5. All right, and then for you, the Braves won. What about the Marlins?
They lost to the Phillies.
What Mariners?
Mariners lost last night as well.
Cardinals.
They won.
Okay, so 2-2. So you're 5-7. I'm 7-5. And obviously, we are riled up that the New York team's back in action tonight. And we look at the series I had mentioned, the Yankees. This is a pretty big series with the race here. So big tonight you're going to get 2 former teammates in Garrett Cole and Corey Kluber, of course, 2 former Cy Young Award winners. So this should be definitely a good one. But I think you got to give the advantage, besides obviously they just have the best record in baseball here, but the fact that Kluber was on the team last year. So I would think that, especially Higashioka, probably catching him a decent amount of times, knows what kind of stuff he's bringing, as far as his pitch repertoire. And the fact too, he was such a mentor to Michael King. So, kind of those type of things, you would think the Yankees would know what to sit on here with Kluber. But I think, he's performed relatively well, 3-2, 3.88. And I don't know about you. I don't think we'll ever see the Corey Kluber from his Indian days, the multiple Cy Youngs. But if somehow, I know it's an if, but if he could stay healthy for a season, I think he's a serviceable 3-starter, honestly.
Yeah, I would think very serviceable. I mean, you saw bright spots, a little bit this season, a little bit last season as well. He threw a full game, right? A 9 innings game last year, I think, right?
Last year he threw a no-hitter.
No-hitter, okay, yeah. So, but then after that is when he got injured, right?
Right, and then he came back later in the season, was pretty good.
I don't know, dude. Even if he stays healthy, I guess serviceable 3-starter.
Do you think his ERA will make it under 4 by the time the season's over?
What's that, like a 3.5 right now?
3.88. And Matthew is here.
Oh,
the legend. That is Matthew Gabriel.
I could see him staying where he's at, 3.8.
Yeah, I could see it too. So yeah, looking at this game, we know, Cole got shellacked as you put in the headline for the sports report last week. So I would expect a big rebound performance. And how crazy, sitting with a 3.63 ERA, he actually has the worst ERA in the rotation. Believe it or not, just because of how strong everyone else has pitched. So I kind of think he's going to go back to his dominating ways here. Pesky raised lineup, so I think we'll get a couple across, but I could see him going, 6 1/3, probably 9 strikeouts, 2 runs, maybe 4 hits, 1 walk, picking up a victory here. And let's call it 5-3. I think these are going to be tightly contested games. I know like the Cubs series, 2 out of the 3 were big blowouts where the outcome wasn't in question. But I think these are going to be tightly contested. But for once, the last couple of years, the Rays have really had, the Yankees number. I think the tides have finally turned. And it took a couple of years too, just in terms of, because you heard a lot of chatter about how it's like, Cashman and how they're trying to copy the Rays, because they don't need to spend the money and they're focusing on, the fundamentals of the game. And we've finally seen that this year with the Yankees in terms of defense and base running and obviously the pitching. So it seems like they finally have caught up to them, and it's taken quite some time. But I do feel confident. And, kind of like how I mentioned to you yesterday, I think this is a 2 out of 3 situation for the Yankees, and I'd be more than happy with that. But let's get it started tonight. Should be a clear night. I'm sure the fans will be riled after the off day, and the Yankees are going to pick up their 45th victory of the season.
What is Trevino starting?
So I know he got scratched at the back.
Yeah, he's day to day.
So I wouldn't be surprised maybe they give him another day because Cole's always liked Higgy anyway.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't like Trevino, of course, but
it's only been Higgy catching Cole this season.
I think both have.
Both have?
It's not like Gary last year, but I'm actually curious if we have an update here on Mr. Trevino.
Mr. Trevino.
Let's see. So it doesn't nothing. I would say it was just a sore back and there's no update. So I would imagine that means that it was just very minor precautionary situation, but wouldn't be surprised if they gave him one more day of rest just to make sure he's okay.
Right.
But that's what I would say. What do we got for the Mets opening up a series today?
All right, so they're opening up a nice home game stand against Milwaukee. Chris Bassett's on the mound for them.
Trevor Williams has outpitched him last month.
I know. I say that with a little bit of grit on my teeth. Chris Bassett has not really had a good outing, I feel like, in a while.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you like 3 innings, 4 earned runs and stuff like that. And I'm looking at this matchup, and obviously, I want to go with the Mets. I think I am going to go with the Mets, honestly. But I mean, just looking at who they're throwing out there for Milwaukee is Adam Hoosier. He's 3-6 in the season, a 3.92 ERA. I mean, I feel like with the way the Mets have been batting, with how good McNeil has been doing, with the dingers that Alonso's had recently, and even Escobar hasn't been batting terribly. I think they can kind of hit him up. The only thing I saw a stat, I think, I forget what the record is, but Milwaukee is obviously like in terms of scoring 5 or more runs a game, they're like a very high winning percentage, which is, might be like 5 runs is a lot. But even with that stat, I mean, I feel like the Mets will be able to score more than 5 runs, with the way they've been batting and everything. So I would say close game, give me the Mets 8-5.
That should be a soundbite. Give me the Mets.
Give me the Mets.
What's Bassett's line?
I'll give him 4 1/3. 3 earned runs, maybe like 4 Ks, a walk.
So basically, you're alluding to the fact that the Taiwan Walker-esque struggles continue for Bassett. Do you see what it is out there? Is he missing spots? Like, what's the problem?
I mean, location's an issue too. Location's obviously the issue with him, but I mean, why is it an issue? I'm not really sure. I mean, I think his last outing, it just seemed that he was just all over the strike zone, not really hitting his mark. When he wanted to kind of pitch around some batters, he'd be throwing the ball like way outside. Not even, giving the batter an inclination to even try and chase it. It was just like wildly out of the strike zone. So yeah, I mean, obviously, he's got to work on his location and maybe mix up his pitching. His pitch choices is really what he needs to mix up.
Are you concerned though that it's just going to keep getting worse and he won't turn it around? Or are you confident that he'll be a serviceable 4-starter by the end of the year?
I'm pretty confident. I don't think it's going to get any worse than it already is, to be honest. How consistent he will be is I think my biggest concern. Even let's say if he surprises us and has a good outing, I mean, I'm not really sold on it. It's against Milwaukee that's struggled offensively in spots this season, and it's a team he should be pitching well against. But I guess we'll kind of see.
Yeah,
I think it's serviceable, I think is what it is. Because, I mean, when you think about it, something like command, that's something that's serviceable, and it's certainly, you think of Chris Bassett, the market he's in now, it's the pressure he has on his shoulders with our top 2 starters being injured. I mean, it may take some time for him to realize that, hey, I can kind of relax a little bit, just pitch my game and I'll do well,
Yeah, and I think, too, something that's kind of interesting is, like, I always, like, not to use one of our famous phrases, but kind of poo-pooed the idea of like, oh, they can't handle New York just because our media is so nationalized these days. You know what I mean? You could get coverage from a team from anywhere. You don't have to be in the local market. So it's like everybody kind of sees everything, but Oakland has so little attention on them. That's the one thing I could see. It is a stark difference. And I think really, like, when you're talking about someone coming over from the Rays or the Marlins, maybe the Pirates, I kind of get that. And, we saw that with Sonny Gray. But if you look at Bassett, I mean, especially like his last 3 seasons, obviously, 2020 was shortened, but his ERAs were 3.15, 2.29, and 3.81. So clearly this guy can pitch, but also, he was the beneficiary of having half of his starts at the Oakland Coliseum where the fences are so far back. I mean, is he more of a fly ball pitcher versus ground ball, or is it kind of a mix?
No, it seems to be more fly ball.
Okay, so that's kind of, and you look at, let's see, home runs allowed. I mean, 11 in 68 innings. That's not great, right?
No.
Yeah, so
it's not great.
If he could keep them in the building, I think that would go a long way. Are you nervous that Yelich might put one out?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's Christian Yelich, but I mean, is it going to be like a game-winning home run? He's going to add to the score for sure? He's definitely one of the biggest tools that the Brewers have. Would I be? No.
I'm kind of had a double header actually today. I just realized that it was just one game, but I'm going to take the second game. So we got Miles Mikolas against Brian Wilson of Pittsburgh. Wilson 0-3, 7.53. Mikolas has pitched well this year, 4-4, 2.93. And I just love this Cardinals team. I mean, they won the game yesterday. Goldschmidt's been amazing. I just feel like there's a lot of veteran leadership, and I think you can't underestimate, even though on the field the numbers might not be there for Pujols, I think his presence and him reuniting with Yachty and Wainwright, I just think the morale is so high for that team, and it kind of just gives them a little edge in a division where I feel like they can compete because the inconsistency, really, the division up and down, they haven't been strong this year. So I think by far they're the best team, and I can see Mikolas just shutting down Pittsburgh here. 7 innings, maybe 3 hits, a solo shot maybe he gives up. And let's say the Cardinals, 2 Goldschmidt home runs, call it 8-1.
Okay, word.
I said word. Ain't never told no lie. Get the soundbite. Get the soundbite, Tony. Come on. I mean, do I have to do everything around here?
Oh, my God. It's funny, dude. The hell was that, Brian?
You never heard that song?
No.
I know Matt has.
Of course. Anyway, I'm going to piggyback off of Brian there. I'll take game 1 of that series. I say the Cardinals sweep them today.
Okay.
What do we got? Oh, JT Brubaker on the mound for
Do you like
Pittsburgh.
Brugers or
no?
You gotta go to a local place. Come on.
Dude. He's 0 look at his stats. He's 0-6 in the season, 4.6 ERA. 58 2/3 innings pitched. He's gotten hit 57 times. 26 walks, dude.
Can't be walking the park.
That's a lot of walks, bro. He's gonna walk the bases loaded. Goldschmidt's gonna have a grand salami first game. The only thing you can worry about is the pitching for St. Louis. Matthew, I may be botching this name. Liberatore. Not great on the season so far. 5.54 ERA. He's 1-1. Hasn't pitched a lot. Only 13 innings. So obviously he got shellacked, I guess, in either one or both of those games. But regardless, I think the Cardinals will have enough offense to kind of counteract that. And with Mikolas, the fact that they know Mikolas is pitching second game, I'm sure they won't hesitate to go to their bullpen if they need to and use up those bullpen guys if Liberatore, isn't really pitching very well. So that being said, I'll give the Cardinals, what did you say, 8-1?
Yeah.
I'll say 7-3.
Yeah.
For the first game.
Cardinals gonna end up running away with it or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for my third selection here, I'm gonna actually go with a pitcher that I've been kind of hyping up all season. Logan Gilbert for the Mariners. And this is actually a good pitching matchup against the Twins here in Seattle. We're going to get Gilbert versus Joe Ryan, who actually has a 2.28 ERA this year for the Twins. And Twins have been swinging the bat, so that's the only thing that scares me. But I do like the fact that, T-Mobile Park out there in Seattle, that's a pitcher's park. So the ball, you really have to get all of it to get it out of the building. So I think that'll pay, huge dividends for them. So I think Gilbert, give him 7 innings, maybe 2 earned, 8 strikeouts. And, let's say the Mariners hang on here for a 6-5 victory.
All right, dude. Word.
Not going to do it again. I already gave you the soundbite.
All right, so my game, we're going to be going to Boston today. Oakland A's, we were just talking about him, are visiting the Boston Red Sox. Jared Koenig on the mound again for Oakland. I don't know if you recall this, Brian.
Yes.
But I think I'm pretty sure I chose the Braves in Koenig's Major League debut, which is his last outing.
Okay.
He was highly touted in the minors.
Oh, yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Came up against the Braves, got popped. I think went 4 innings, gave up 4 home runs, I think, too. And Braves ended up winning 13-2, especially with, the Athletics offense. Doesn't really have much going for them right now. So I'm going to double down on the fact that Koenig is not going to do well here against Boston. I'd say similar outing. Maybe he'll go 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, something like that. Obviously, the Braves have such good offense. Boston, doesn't have that level of offense that the Braves have. But nonetheless, I think he's going to get shellacked again, unfortunately. Not that I'm rooting against the guy. It's just business, Jared. So give me the
it's Sakura.
That's just Sakura, dude. Give me the Red Sox 6-2.
6-2. All right. For my fourth and final here, I am going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays, kind of back to the well after last night. But, I mean, they're playing the Orioles. And I know Jordan Lyles, has looked good at times with the fastball. But ERA is still almost 5. And Kikuchi,
Oh, Kikuchi, dude.
We're always talking about him. But I don't know. I don't think he's any good, honestly. But I just think the fact that the Orioles, I mean, talking about not good, I think the Blue Jays are really hitting their stride. And we're going to see the big 3 of Bichette, Vladdy, and Springer really starting to heat up, and maybe Chapman, will give them something. But I think for tonight, I think Kikuchi, 6 innings, 3 earned, 8 strikeouts. Blue Jays score 10 though and win 10-5.
Love it, dude. Are we going another one? Did I pick 4?
No, I actually did the rare me going.
You went first. The Yankees
previewing.
Yeah, the
Yankees.
Yankees. Okay, all right. Hold on. Give me a hot second here. What else do we have? Astros, Rangers. You think the Rangers are gonna win 2 in a row?
Tough to do.
Dane Dunning on them. Oh, Jose Urquidy.
Terrible.
All right. Should I give her the rain? Dude.
Go with your gut, Tony.
I'm trying to. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Dodgers today. They're being visited by the Angels. Noah Syndergaard on the mound. Syndergaard's get popped 2 innings. 2 innings. Okay, 2 innings. Brian. 5 earned runs. Tony Gonsolin.
It's Gonsolin.
It is Gonsolin. I'll give him 7 and 2 earned runs, maybe. Absolute lights out. 11 Ks. I'll give him. Syndergaard crying. Wish he pitched against the Mets. But give me the Dodgers here. I don't know. 6-3.
What do you think's going on with the Dodgers, though? I mean, I know, all overall they're okay where they are, but they haven't, the last month have not been playing, themselves. I mean, do you think there's something going on there as far as like the clubhouse or anything?
I don't know. It just seems like they don't have much offense going. They just got swept by the Giants. They scored 4 runs in 3 games.
Yeah, that's
not good at all, dude. Like
ferocious.
And it's ferocious, dude.
Ferocious.
And I don't think obviously their pitching hasn't been an issue, so it's
the bats.
Mookie hasn't really been playing very well.
Got that contract. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's the best all-around player in baseball."
I know.
Do you think they kind of jumped the gun there?
He's leading the team with home runs, 16 home runs. Trey Turner's batting about 300. I know Trey Turner's been doing very well, but where's Bellinger, dude?
Bellinger, I feel like he's just ripped,
right? Honestly, it seems like it. Especially when he had the flow a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think he had like a shark tooth necklace on or some shit, dude. Like, get out of town.
Just looking at Bellinger 207. I mean, it's really been years of him struggling. And then Justin Turner, he's always been a big cog in the lineup. He's hitting 213 with only 4 home runs. So I think that's a big reason. Mookie's actually doing the best, hitting 278 with 16 home runs. But Freddie Freeman, he gets that big contract, 5 home runs, only slugging 449. I mean, the average is there at 288. So I think that's actually the biggest thing. I mean, you look at the home runs, only 71 home runs for this Dodgers team. And, I mentioned Betts with 16, tied for second. 3 guys have 7, Bellinger, Trey Turner, and Edwin Rios. So I think, Max Muncy hitting 156. So the guys that have propelled them, the last couple of seasons on offense just are not doing it. But I mean, I kind of look at this and I'm like, I think Freeman, the power will be there. And I think going to Dodger Stadium, I think maybe that takes away a couple home runs versus Truist Park. But I think Justin Turner, there's a chance he might be done. I mean, he's getting up there in age. He's produced for years upon years. Ever since he left the Mets, he's been, a perennial all-star.
Yeah.
So I think he might be done. And then Max Muncy, he might be done as well. And then Bellinger.
Yeah.
So you look at that, I mean, you can count on Betts, Freeman, and Trey Turner. So, I mean, I guess if they're all rolling, you'll be okay. But we may see this might be a situation where they actually need to add a bat or 2 before the trade deadline.
Who do you think it'll be? Carpenter.
Dude. I mean, his value is skyrocketing. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to leave, though. That's the thing. Javi Baez, dude. That could be a name.
You really think so?
Play third.
Yeah.
Because Turner, dude, I mean, right? Don't you think? I mean, he's got to be 38.
Yeah. Oh, I think 38, really?
Yeah. Do you remember him on the Mets?
Yeah, I do.
Did he seem absolutely
nothing
terrible?
Yeah.
Like worse than JD Davis?
Yeah.
It's crazy how that happens.
I know. Same thing happened with d'Arnaud, too.
Yeah. But d'Arnaud this year, I mean, he's been a little finicky.
I suppose.
But
still a great catcher, too. I mean, rather have him over McCann right now.
Now, despite their recent struggles, losing 6 out of 8, do you still consider the Dodgers the Mets' top competition in the NL, or
top competition? I mean, I don't know. I guess. I mean, when you think about it, like, yeah, even though a lot of their players aren't doing well, I feel like those are all players that at some point could get hot. So yeah, I would say top competition.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cody Bellinger doesn't make it the end of the season, a big deal. I don't think they'll release him, but I could see them trading him, dude. I mean, how many years are you gonna go out there and hit 200?
How old is Bellinger now? 34?
No. Bellinger's got to be 28.
Is that young?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now. Dude, that one season like 4 years ago, I think did he win MVP?
Yeah, he did. It was him and Yelich for the race, dude.
And he was just unbelievable. He's only 26.
He's 26?
Yeah, he came up early. And he had that great year initially. then struggled, then had one more good year, and then it's just I don't know. It's just weird when you see someone like Yelich. It almost is similar. It's funny that you mentioned Yelich. Like they've kind of had a similar trajectory the last couple of years, and you look at it, 39 home runs in 17, hitting 267, hit 305. I guess that was the MVP season in 19, 47 home runs, slugging 629. And since then, he's hit 239, 165, 207. And his highest slugging percentage the last 3 years is only 455, including 302 last year, 394 this year. Kind of seems like he needs this change of scenery. Maybe the Mets.
I'd love that, dude.
You think you could do something with him, figure it out?
Yeah. You kidding me?
It's got to be a mechanics thing, you would think.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, bad habits.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, so many people have like ridiculed him for his batting stance being that, that stand-up type of stance, how it doesn't really work. But I mean, obviously it did for him, at least at first. So I don't know.
Breaking news, Tony, if you would.
Oh my goodness. Wait.
Serena Williams, after not initially being on the list for Wimbledon, has received a waiver to be able to play. So she will be in the Wimbledon tournament. So nice to see her back in action. 1 year off, Tony. Does she have a chance?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, she's arguably the best women's tennis player there is. So
we've been behind on our tennis game a little bit. I mean,
so
Nadal won another French Open.
I know we didn't even talk about that at all. Dude.
I mean, is he maybe better than Federer?
I think at this point, yeah. And Federer's been having knee issues and stuff. Like, he's breaking down a little bit.
But see, that's the thing that makes me sad. I feel like, especially with Djokovic, I don't know the new era guys. I don't know if you're familiar with anybody, but I just have known the big three, which was the big four before Andy Murray had the hip issues.
Right.
But I feel like we're moving into a different era, especially with the Williams sisters.
Oh, for sure.
On the brink of retirement as well.
Yeah. I mean, how old are the Williams sisters?
Venus is I think 42.
Jeez.
I think Serena is probably 40 or 41.
I'm sure they'll be retiring soon.
Yeah. Who out of for the men, out of the four, who was always your favorite?
Murray.
Really?
Yeah, loved Murray.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I
feel like he was kind of the underdog out of those, the top four guys too.
Serena is 40. Okay, so Venus must be 41.
Yeah.
I always was actually a Fed guy because I just feel like he was consistently dominant, and I thought it was so awesome how I think it was 5-6 years went by, and then he ended up winning the Australian Open maybe 4 or 5 years ago after a long layoff. So just the perseverance, because he was so dominant. I feel like Djokovic has a little bit of an attitude. So I'm not he's great. I mean, don't get me wrong, but and then I love just the classic Nadal Federer matches.
I know, so good. Nadal's a madman.
Yeah, but he's always got to pick his ace.
Yeah, I know, dude. He has like the same, like before, like every rally, dude. He does the same thing where he dude, it's like the wipe, ass, nose, eyebrows, hair, and then he's ready to go every single time.
It's almost like Knobloch with the batting gloves back in the day.
Yeah.
But I guess one other thing I was just going to mention, you were kind of alluding to, you see the Dodgers as the top competition. I kind of think, we'll see how he comes back, but I think with the addition of Tatis, within the next month, I kind of think the Padres, might be a better team than the Dodgers this year.
I mean, I think Tatis is going to be a big question mark, though.
Yeah.
It depends on how he plays for sure. And even so, I mean, if the Dodgers get going, I don't think the Padres have enough tools to kind of combat them.
Really?
Yeah.
So I know like the last couple of years for them, have been disappointing, especially last year. I mean, after a great start, really just fading down the stretch. But I could see what you're saying. And you look at the power numbers. We talk about the Dodgers, 71 home runs. The Padres only have 47. Machado, the only one in double digits with 10.
Right.
He's hitting 322. So, that's a big part of it. And then you look at, just from an average perspective, the team's only hitting 235. So their pitching obviously has been stepping up for them to be tied with the Dodgers for the division lead. You look at, Darvish, Musgrove, and Manaea. I think that's a pretty good, 3-man rotation to run out in the playoffs. And then Blake Snell, I know you think he's off the bender, but I mean, I think he could potentially turn it around or no?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
No.
Would you take him over Bassett?
I don't think so.
Really, you wouldn't want to bring in a lefty. Maybe
I
change
think
the
he's
scenery.
just going to get way worse, and he's been doing terrible against lefties too. Like
He needs to go back to Tampa.
Yeah.
You know, if he goes back to Tampa,
Mhm.
not that it would be fun to face him if he's actually good again, but
right.
he's really lost a tick or two off the old fastball. To me.
Yeah, I would say so.
But and I guess just one other thing I just wanted to see where we were, amongst the league leaders here. I haven't done. Did you used to back in the day kind of do like almost like a daily check of like, who's leading the league in home runs, batting average? Like I used to be sortable stats. I used to be all over that.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when I was back at the network. I mean, I kind of had to,
So just
you still are all over that.
not as much. I mean, it used to be, I swear to God, hours a day looking at stats.
In high school,
Middle school. Well, I mean,
school.
through high school, but started
College.
in
you
middle
weren't doing
school.
your homework. Bad.
So you look at the batting averages. How about Luis Ariz for Minnesota? He might be a good player. I mean, the power isn't exactly there. 362 average.
There we go.
We have Justin Verlander and Alex Manoah tied with 8 wins apiece. Aaron Judge leading home runs by 6 with 24. Joe Musgrove.
Who's second?
Byron Buxton
Oh.
tied with Pete Alonso at 18.
Yeah.
I knew that's why you're
Okay,
asking.
okay.
Alvarez with 17, Trout with 16. What was that? Oh,
Fat
Pete.
Pete.
Yeah.
Or fat shame.
And one that surprises me, top 5 for ERA at number 4, Shane McClanahan, 1.87. Had no idea about that. Jose Ramirez, 59 RBIs. Alonso in second with 57. Taylor Rogers of the Padres, 19 saves, tied with Hader. Jansen won back at 18. Rafi Devers leads the league in hits with 83. McClanahan leads the majors in strikeouts at 98.
Wow.
Julio Rodriguez leads the league in steals with 17. He's a guy no one even talks about for the Mariners. He was highly touted, but just playing in Seattle, I feel like you just aren't, unless you're Ichiro, you're not getting a lot of like national coverage. I guess Griffey back in the day, but he's a guy.
still playing?
No. I think he works within the Mariners organization.
Oh, he does
He's
still.
like a
I thought he plays
consultant or
overseas.
something.
No. He did. I think he did last year for a little bit. But I mean, geez, he I know, like you got to give it to him long career, but he should have retired like 5 years earlier.
Yeah,
At the end,
yes,
I mean,
dude.
it was a little much. I mean, no, like.
Come on.
Last thing, Tony. Mariners for baseball anyway, but Mariners 27-34 this year. They have some promising young players. Ty France, Logan Gilbert. Obviously I just mentioned Rodriguez, but it's like. It just feels like they're the new Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, 0-1 is the last time they made the playoffs. It's like, I don't know what it is they need to do. I feel like they've had some talented rosters. I mean, last year they were in the playoff conversation for a while. I mean, what do you think it's an ownership problem? Like what's going on over there?
I guess they have talent, right? We just talked about it. It's got to be something like whether it's in the front office or with management or ownership. Maybe just, I don't know. Yeah, maybe who's their manager?
That's a good question.
Exactly. That's what I mean, though. Like,
You think they should bring back Lou Piniella?
Mike Schilt.
Jinx. Seattle Mariners.
Rick
Scott
Renteria.
Service.
Scott Service?
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
Who is Scott Service?
Joe Girardi. Watch.
Stop.
Watch.
Stop. It's over for
Watch.
Joe. Do you think it's over for Joe?
Probably, dude. After this last stint in Philly,
Yeah.
I think his best days are behind him.
I know the fact that
whatever
they're doing
reason,
so well.
That clubhouse must have been running a fucking
Well,
muck, dude.
because I was saying it.
Nobody giving any shits.
Because I was saying it before you got here. I just feel like it's like Bryce Harper, for instance. Imagine Girardi doing a sit down with him.
Girardi.
He's like, dude, you hit 200 for your career. Like, don't even talk to me.
There's no way he commanded that room.
No. What a
Probably
fall
no
from
respect.
grace.
Probably when he first got there.
Oh, yeah.
They were pumped.
tight. Oh, they were
No,
pumped.
I think they were
because
pumped.
Didi probably was a
Yeah.
little riled up. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I
know.
feel like if he goes to Seattle, right? Let's say he goes to Seattle. Seattle's predominantly young talent, right?
Yeah.
Obviously these guys probably, grew up watching Girardi, watching him manage the Yankees. I'm sure there would be an awe if he was managing them, and then he would probably listen to them, and I think he would be able to command that team.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I
No?
feel like he can't listen to anybody.
Yeah, he's
Girardi.
very.
Which is like, whatever. That's I'm not saying
Well,
there's
yeah,
anything
it's
wrong
not a
with
bad
that.
thing, but it's like you stick him on a team with a superstar like Harper.
Yeah, Harper's
who's all in his head about himself.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
guys
not gonna
like
work,
Real
dude.
Muto
Girardi's a
making
team
a lot of
guy.
money.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Real Muto too.
Yeah, I don't know. But what does Seattle have to lose?
right.
Literally
Exactly.
nothing.
Nothing.
We might as well give them a shot.
And I'm
Yeah.
looking at this. I mean, their pitching is pretty promising. You know, I've mentioned obviously Gilbert a bunch of times, and you think Robbie Ray bounces back, Tony, or you kind of think that? Yeah,
I do.
He stinks.
He sucks right now. It's so ridiculous.
but I feel like
I'm
this is the
shocked.
guy we saw in Arizona, though. His ERA was never that low before last season.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, still, you think of
Spidey.
how well he played last season. It's got to count for something, Brian.
Yeah, no, I mean it should. And then George Kirby, I think he's going to be a really good pitcher. So if you could, get Ray on track, pair him with Gilbert and Kirby, and then Marco Gonzalez, I think at times can be serviceable. I mean, I think you have the makings of something, but also, I mean, in the bullpen, I mean, you got former Met great Paul Sewald, so I think they could use an upgrade there. No,
Yeah.
Cool. You take him back or no?
No.
Jeez.
We have bullpen problems, all right?
A lot of guys chirping, though. You think about it with Syndergaard, with Sewald, Stroman, too. Stroman's had some chirps, but his ERA is
Yeah,
like
where's
6.
Stroman? Exactly. Loser, dude.
But it's just kind of interesting. I don't know what.
Stroman's got a big
Do
mouth.
you think they had
It does.
with Rojas and everything kind of like a divided clubhouse last year?
Yes.
And that's why we're seeing this stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, talk about someone who doesn't have any command or like any control of their team. It would have been Rojas, I feel.
Yeah.
With all those, especially with Baez, with Lindor, with Stroman. I mean, those are a lot of egos.
right.
You know?
And then these are guys, making hundreds of millions of dollars.
hundreds
He's
of
been a
millions of
minor league
dollars.
manager. So
Yeah.
career wasn't the first choice for
Exactly.
the managerial job.
Exactly. I mean, they were not going to listen to him. And then you have them clashing with the other ball players in the club. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster, dude.
Yeah. But let me just say, Tony, there's just nothing like the sport of Major League Baseball. Am I wrong?
There is nothing like it, Brian.
Baseball is the best sport.
And I know, we're obviously still a little bitter about the Rangers, but you have to admit, in a way, I know, like, obviously, of course,
here it comes.
you would have loved to, watch them win the Stanley Cup, as would have I. But just now to really have your sole focus be on the Mets and really absorb them from a game-by-game standpoint.
Yeah, it is nice because obviously the Mets were on the back burner during the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it still would be nice to be in the race here for the Cup.
I would say the two sickest things probably have to be playoff hockey with the Rangers in it,
Right.
competing, and Major League Baseball.
Specifically,
The Yanks.
the New York Yankees.
I mean,
And
it's got I don't know what other better feeling is there.
number 42.
You want it, Brian? I gotta find it. Hold on. Oh, here it is, dude.
Mariano Rivera, number 42.
Dude, so I still have I gotta find it. We gotta hit a game soon. My
Yeah.
Mariano, it's the t-shirt jersey.
Yeah. No, I remember that one, dude.
Yeah, with the inaugural season
Yeah,
patch on the
that
sleeve.
was awesome.
Yeah, I gotta find it because I feel like we're gonna hit a game soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just
really
like,
soon, Brian.
and it's just like, dude, Rivera. Oh my god, man, it would be so nice if you think he'll never like come back to the organization like full time.
Probably not, dude.
Imagine
He's doing Indeed commercials now, bro.
Imagine him as like the pitching coach though.
It'd be insane, dude.
He's
But
doing
you know
Indeed
what though?
commercials. It's ridiculous.
Matt Blake.
Yeah, Matt Blake is killing it though. I
Really
have to
killing
say, dude, we were so tight last year on Blake too.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Just tight in general about last year, dude. So you guys want to know something funny?
Yeah.
A year ago today
yeah.
was the 100th episode of Sports Sport.
And here we
We
are,
just
banged
over
300 last week.
200.
That's pretty
In
insane.
a year, we did 200. First year was 100. Second year was 200 episodes.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah,
wild.
because
It's
we
crazy.
started out with like twice a week and
Yeah.
then worked our way up. That is nuts.
Yeah, and so I got it up on Facebook, like the timeline thing.
Yeah.
and my description was Yankees are absolutely awful.
Yeah.
It's something about the Mets and like
Gino.
but at this point last year, the Yankees were sucking ass.
Yeah. I saw
A
the
little different
comparison.
story now. How bad?
Weren't they 4 over 500 or if that?
So, yeah,
So-
all I know was really bad because just based on the description.
Unbelievable.
They
And
just
it
suck ass.
really, it's funny.
No,
This
that's
all
what's-
lines up perfectly for Cashman to get the extension after
Mhm.
all the backlash. I mean, I don't see how he leaves now.
I'm just gonna say
Yeah, no
too,
way.
The judge's arbitration deal is coming up.
Mhm.
Just bang out the contract. Fuck the
Yeah,
arbitration.
I mean, Tony, is that
Just
one
bang
of
out
the
the
more
contract.
embarrassing things that they haven't just canceled that hearing?
Sit in that
already?
room until that
Literally.
contract.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, we talked about it when they didn't sign him again.
Yeah.
I mean,
But then just after this performance, I mean, the least you could do is give him $4 million for this type of performance.
Dude, if they come in and they're still trying to play hardball,
you think they're going to send in Levine to be the prick, like to kind of beat him up? Because like how
Randy Dundee.
Yeah, what do you think?
yeah.
Because I feel like he got involved with
Cashman
Dellin.
enjoys being the prick himself.
No, but remember though, Levine was behind the Dellin thing.
Kansas?
Yeah, because he didn't have enough saves, so he shouldn't have gotten, But
so he's the arbiter.
I think he represents the Yankees.
He is the arbiter
side, but man.
Featuring Randy Levine, the
But
arbiter.
you know what? I guess everything works out for a reason. Wouldn't you say, Anthony?
Yes, I would say it does.
Say it now.
Anthony.
But
My wings Scott.
Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack.
Jack, eh?
We got to bring in a bottle just to have right here. I was thinking about that the other day.
Gentleman
I was going to
Jack?
surprise you, honestly.
Oh, now you blew it.
Well, I mean, you'll still be surprised because now you think, oh, well, now you're not going to do it. But then when I show up with it in a week, you're going to be like, oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, dude.
But let's after
100%.
a nice
1,000%, 1,000,000%.
after a nice baseball conversation, Tony, let's go to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls go. LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
All right, Tony. So we had Game 5 last night at the Chase Center, and a little bit of a back and forth early. The Celtics with a strong third quarter. However, in the fourth, the Warriors outscoring them by 9 en route to a 104-94 victory as they take a commanding 3-2 lead here. You look at this one. I mean, Tatum was strong for Boston, 27, 10, and 4. And how about the Warriors win this game? Steph Curry for the first time in his playoff career, no 3-pointers, 0-9. This was the Curry game that I get riled for, but of course they win anyway. 16 points, 7 to 22 from the floor. But Wiggins was strong, 26, 13 boards. And it's just interesting with Wiggins because I was one of those guys, contract is terrible, big bust, was supposed to be the next LeBron. And here we are sitting here. I mean, he's arguably, as crazy as it sounds, been just as important as Klay Thompson this postseason. So I think sometimes we just have to keep in mind that system dictates a lot of guys' success. And if you're put in a bad situation, a guy who's very talented could look very average. And I think that's what we saw with Andrew Wiggins. Minnesota, of course, known as one of the worst organizations in the league.
Wow.
No?
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right, dude. And it was, I don't know. I mean, I kind of said Curry would have another 40-point game, but 0 for 9. I mean, do you think that spells trouble for the next game or what?
I think Boston's going to be fired up. And then, we always allude to the whole rig thing in the NBA. So would we really be surprised that on Sunday, my birthday, Father's Day, Game 7, just like there was 6 years ago when the Cleveland Cavaliers came back, I think down 10 at half, Tony.
6 years ago.
The best basketball game I've ever watched. And it's a shame we sit here 6 years later and we're watching this product, Tony. What has happened?
Oh my gosh. How dare you have a birthday on Father's Day, by the way. But nonetheless.
That's when I was born. It was Father's Day, actually.
Oh, it's terrible.
Almost
Father's Day
30 years ago, Tony.
Did you see anything? I don't know. I saw people complaining about the refs and some of the calls they had last night.
I actually didn't see that. But I know. I mean, officiating has been trash. But
is officiating just really hard in the NBA, or is it just like what is the deal?
I think it's too fast for them.
Too fast. But then I think also you think about where we are now versus 20 years ago. There's so much more footage and emphasis on individual play, so we notice it more than we ever did.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. The one-on, because everybody plays one-on-one now.
And it's funny too how statistics are misleading. I don't know if you saw, I tagged you on Twitter. It said it was like the lowest Game 1 finals ratings.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So because I remember we saw something else that said, but
12 million.
The way they measure it and stuff, I guess it's.
I don't know how they measure it.
Yeah,
and also like those viewerships. Is that if I hit the channel and I view it for 10 seconds and leave, that counts as a viewer?
Yeah. See, I don't understand that. And then how they factor in streaming. I feel like streaming is separate or no? When they're doing ratings?
I think they add them together when
No, I think they
They do add them together?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
But originally
I'm
they
pretty sure.
did it. I think it was a separate number.
It was separate, but now I think it's all combined.
You know what's a shame? I really wanted to see, hockey challenge these ratings, but now with Tampa playing Colorado, I feel like there's no chance of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Tampa Bay and Colorado both have really good fan bases, great attendance at the games. And I would imagine, even most hockey fans are going to tune in anyway,
I just feel like, though, you know what the problem is? Even if we have great matchups, teams that play great, during the regular season, if it's not a team that has fans from outside the area, the ratings are terrible. Even if it's a great matchup. And that's a shame, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
I think if we saw I know obviously Eastern Conference, but if it was like the Rangers and the Canadiens or something, historic franchises, or even like the Rangers in like St. Louis or something, just because I know they've had a couple stints of success recently, but I just feel like this matchup from a revenue standpoint doesn't bode well for hockey.
Yeah. I mean, let's hope. I'm going to be watching. I don't know about you guys. It's a cup final. Come on, dude. No?
Matt, you're out with that?
What if it was Game 7? You're watching Game 7?
Probably.
Would you want to watch someone hoist the cup?
But you know what I mean? It's just
we'll go back and forth.
Tuning out.
Tony, the problem is there's no juice. That's
what do you mean there's no juice? There's storylines.
There's
Gone.
no juice.
Juice is gone.
Yeah, it's like
over.
It's like the last, what?
It's the same thing with the Yanks.
Yeah,
Once
that's what
they're
I was
out.
gonna say. Yeah, the last 13 years.
Can't you just appreciate the game?
No. I know you know this too. Most annoying thing ever, like when the Mets are in the World Series in 15. Well, it's New York. You're not going to be around for New York.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not around for that. And you could say whatever you want.
New York?
You're not around. You're rooting for the other team. I know we had this conversation the other day. Be interesting.
I'm rooting for the Lightning. I swear.
You're rooting for the Lightning now?
I'm rooting for the Lightning.
Well, because now are you of the mindset that because you would like to see the Rangers lose to the
Stanley Cup winner, yes, and then
there is always that train of thought.
Go through
that mentality, though.
It's not that mentality. I mean, it's just a respectable person's mentality, I suppose.
It is a respectable train of thought.
Yeah,
and I understand.
And plus the storyline.
I remember my dad when I
3 in a row
when I was younger. My dad said something about that,
right?
And I didn't get it. But then he said that he's like, well, if you think about it, like they'll lose
to the best team in the league. Yeah.
So I understand it, but at the same time, it's kind of like you just can go fuck off.
Well, yeah,
and not win it.
Yeah,
I suppose. Yeah, but I was telling Brett, what if Tampa Bay goes in there, the Cup Finals gets swept, and then you're gonna think to yourself, well, like the Rangers, I mean, they would have won a game at least, like.
But
I wouldn't,
Come on.
I wouldn't feel any way about it.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, I just feel like, how about the Rangers would have done this, would have been that, if they could freaking score the last 4 games? That's all it is to me. And I just feel like it was ferocious, that offensive performance.
No, it was bad for sure, but you never know. The way, again, I
still can't believe he played Strom on one fucking leg.
I know, dude. But even just like they're facing Tampa Bay now, even if they face the Rangers, they'd be facing a goaltender they haven't seen in the playoffs.
Right.
They have not seen that level of goaltending in the playoffs yet.
I think the Lightning are probably going to
dude.
smack the Avalanche.
It's possible, dude. Honestly, it's very possible.
What do you think?
No, I think it's the other way around.
Sorry, we don't mean to venture into hockey and the basketball side.
I mean, I feel like we kind of covered what we need to cover.
Yeah, I think we covered it all.
Yeah.
Real quick with Wiggins though, definitely pumped to see it, bro.
Yeah,
he's our age.
Eastern,
Yeah.
Washington,
Washington, Kansas. I think he's a few years younger.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely. But dude, good for him, bro. Because Jabari is a bust.
Jabari.
It's nice to see Wiggins prevail.
Wiggins.
Always thought Wiggins was going to be the better of the two, and
Wiggins was Wiggins.
That's of course clearly the case. Wiggins is Wiggins.
Wiggins is Wiggins.
Hey, Wiggy.
Brian, what are you doing?
Drew Wiggy.
No, I'm just saying, Tony. I swear to God, I'm just saying.
I swear to God.
Look at what because I think you were kind of alluding to. You think Tampa might win. What makes you think that? What you're just saying? Just because
to see is
not much of a game.
Not much of a game. Dude.
But no. What makes you see just based on the speed of Colorado? I know just the veteran presence from Tampa. I mean, that's what gives you confidence in them. Just they've been there the last couple of years.
Yes. Walk away,
Matthew.
Walk
great
away,
catching up with
Walk
you for
away.
a couple.
Walk away, Matthew. Yes.
Honestly,
downtime.
Thoroughly enjoyed it, bud.
Yes.
Go. Go
Nice,
go
dude.
get
Good
him,
luck.
Spalt.
Good luck.
Love
It's,
you too, dude.
it's New York.
It's New York.
Love you, bud.
Love you guys.
Peace.
No, but really though,
I think it's okay. So, like I said, Vasilevsky, I think he's going to be on it. Okay, regardless of how fast Colorado's playing, Vasilevsky's going to be on it. Tampa Bay did a good job of stopping teams in this postseason in the neutral zone, not even allowing them to go in their offensive zone. And then, yes, the veteran status of the Tampa Bay Lightning is going to, I think, play really well against Colorado. I mean, think of again. I mean, they said about the Rangers how there's a lot of young guys on the Rangers, haven't played this many games ever, haven't been in the playoffs ever. There's some guys in Colorado that are in the same deal. They have veteran players as well, but Cale Makar has never played a season this long before. He's never been in the Cup final. I think Tampa Bay have a chance, dude. And again, I mean, when you think about it too, like the one thing that they had going for them, Tampa Bay, was that line with Stamkos. They have not been stopped. They have not been stopped. That line has not been stopped this entire postseason. On top of that, I believe Braden Point is coming back from injury.
he is.
He is a huge offensive tool for them. That's gonna, diversify where their offense is going to be coming from, and it's going to be a little harder for Colorado to defend. Colorado had a walk in the park with Edmonton.
But you don't think just from who they've had to face offensively, and probably, I mean, you could look at it, probably Tampa, best offense they faced was actually Toronto in the first round. And I believe that was a 7-game series.
It was.
So I just feel like even though Toronto's been strong, and obviously Austin Matthews and Tavares, but I just feel like they haven't face any type of team close to Colorado. And I know you're saying experience, but I feel like just in certain situations, you have all the experience you want. If
Right.
it's a bad matchup and it's a tough task, it's a tough task.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. But when you think about it, Tampa Bay also knocked out Florida.
Yeah, I actually did forget about that.
They were the best team in the league. They were the most winning team in the league. You could argue Colorado was right up there with them, but they knocked out the best team in the league.
And it's crazy too. I mean, I guess I know that it's just kind of me, like kind of jumping the gun and stuff, but that we haven't heard anything about like Florida possibly like Canada coaching. You just can't after that type of season.
No way, dude. I mean,
think about the Chargers though with Marty Ball.
Yeah.
14-2, fired coach of the year. 05, I think.
05. Anyway, dude, that's why I think Tampa Bay just beat 3 of the best teams in the league to get to the Cup final. What?
Oh, I guess. Wait, what? They have an interim head coach?
Tampa Bay? Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
Did they can their coach mid-season?
Let me just see something. So it says 51-8, 18. So I believe so.
Andrew Burnett is their interim head coach. Yeah.
Oh, because Quenneville was with the Chicago
that's right,
situation.
that's right.
But I guess they're saying it's unclear if he's gonna return. Boy, that could be another, some of the names we've mentioned. Who do you think fits best for that job?
For Florida?
Yeah.
I mean, Joel's a great coach, but obviously, given the, controversy with Chicago, I mean, it's gonna be tough to really, have him in the league. But I mean, I would say to keep the interim head coach.
Really? Even see, I don't
forget
know.
Barry Trotz and Tortorella.
Why though? Like, you really think this guy? Why is this? Or you just think it's because those guys have worn out their welcome?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think though eventually they're both going to get one more shot or no?
Yeah, I think Barry Trotz will get hired again. Tortorella, I don't think so.
But I think they're the finalists for the Flyers. You think either of them is a better fit there, or
I would go Trotz over Tortorella every day.
Yeah, Torty.
Because even what he did with Columbus too. What did he do with Columbus?
Yeah,
after the rain, nothing, dude. Like,
but I know I've mentioned this before, but it is just interesting. I really didn't know. Hockey. It seems like they're the quickest to the trigger at any sport other than maybe football. I don't know.
With head coaches.
Yeah.
It seems like they're the quickest, right?
And because I feel like in different like sports, for instance, you have certain franchises that are just always going to be patient. Okay, we're used to being bad. We want to build something, but it doesn't seem like there's any of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, I would say honestly, like that all these coaching changes have happened in the past couple of years. Because when you think about it, Joel was with Chicago forever. Trotz was with Washington forever. Tortorella was with the Rangers for a while.
Quinn got canned early.
Quinn got canned early. So did Elaine Vignon.
You feel like he could still coach, or he wears them people?
I don't know. I thought he was a good players coach.
Yeah.
It seemed like the players kind of liked him. But obviously it didn't really translate to wins. But yeah, no, it is pretty crazy how many coaches have been kind of in and out of some spots. And these are coaches like Trotz and Joel that have won cups too.
Yeah. And then Vigneault, right? It was the Stanley Cup in his first season.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting? I was just looking up Florida and Jonathan Huberdeau. I didn't realize. So he's 29, entering the last year of his deal, $5.9 million average. And he's due for a big raise. And they're saying it's a question if he's going to stay there, or they might move him because they don't, want to give him the contract that he needs. What do you think about him possibly making his way to the Big Apple?
I don't know the numbers from his previous years, but they weren't as good as this year.
Oh, so you're worried about it like a Jonathan Chicho?
Yeah. Chichu.
I actually got to look this up with Huberdeau. I just was so used to it. I mean, every night he's got 5 assists.
Let me see some numbers on him. I mean, he wasn't I feel like he was good, but he wasn't producing the way.
Okay, so he was 3rd overall pick in 2011. Been with Florida his whole career. So he had 85 assists this season. His previous high in assists was 62 back in 2018, and 30 goals, matched a career high from 2018 as well. I think you could say, you look at the numbers, he's been upper middle class. I guess you could say, so not star level.
I mean, 2, career years, you could say in 4 years, that's pretty good.
But do you think but do you think him on the Rangers, they have obviously a lot of guys that pass, and of course, they're going to have some guys leave the team.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that for them to kind of solve this problem where they go through these lulls offensively, are they better off bringing in a guy with a high assist rate like him, or a guy that's strictly like a goal scorer?
I mean, I would say someone like him would be good because, the high assist rate is good because, you look at Panarin, he's had a lot of assists and he's assisted Zibanejad a lot.
Fox.
And Fox, yeah. So I would like another assist guy, another setup guy for sure. And he's also a really good skater, which is nice. He can skate around the defense. He's a good puck handler. And you know what? He still scores goals too.
Right. I mean, 30 goals is 30 goals.
There's nothing to sneeze at over here. So
what would be the package you'd be willing to give up? Would you give up Kako?
I mean, if I had to, yeah. I think Kako would be a good piece. Especially I'm sure his stock has gone up after this postseason. Maybe Kako and
Lafreniere.
I was thinking maybe Hedel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just because Hedel, obviously I forget. I want to say I forget what draft pick he was, but it wasn't crazy high.
Mm-hmm.
And this year was, this postseason specifically was pretty breakout for him. So, I mean, what are the odds he's going to be really that great again?
Right.
2 young guys for Huberdeau, who's relatively
and then maybe
youngish.
throw in like a 4th, and you'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of just bringing someone who creates offense. I just feel like they really need that, and it's of course, like I mentioned earlier, I wish they were still playing, but I am kind of fascinated because I've never followed like an NHL offseason. Like, what exactly is going to happen? Do you think that there's going to be a lot of turnover as far as the Rangers roster? Because I guess Strome looks like he's out. We're expecting Kako out.
Yeah.
Is Vetrano a free agent?
I think so. I could be. I know Cop is.
Cop's
they
a
got
free
to sign
agent.
Cop. I don't know about Vetrano, but I would expect there to be decent, honestly, turnovers. Honestly, I'm just trying to look here. Because we need a good defenseman. We need a veteran defenseman. So I mean, if they make a move for Huberdeau, that'd be sweet. And then maybe
Kessel?
No, not Kessel, dude. For defenseman wise, I think maybe Erik Karlsson.
Karlsson is on.
He's on Ottawa right now.
Ottawa, and he used to be on
the Sharks.
The Sharks, okay.
I think he was with the Sharks for a little bit. I know he was. I forget who he was drafted by. It might have been the Sharks, maybe. Let's see. But when you think about Ottawa,
Vetrano free agent, by the way.
Vetrano is free agent.
So I don't know if they.
He's on the Sharks now. He was drafted by the Senators.
The Senators, okay.
And you look at how the Sharks season went. I mean, they didn't really do too well. You know, I mean,
Right.
they especially with the talent they have. I'm pretty sure they still have Brent Burns too, who's another good defenseman. Honestly, that you could think about getting, but it's tough because I feel like Carlson has got to be. Let's see how old Carlson is. He's 32. Yeah, so I would say that's good. I think Brent Burns is like 37 or something, 36. If you pursue Carlson, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there might be, and I like I was saying, I don't know. Like you mentioned, Cop. I don't know if for Toronto they'll have the cap to sign him.
Yeah, I know that's tough, especially with trying to go for these other players too.
And supposedly Kako. Okay, so he's a pending restricted free agent without salary arbitration rights, but he said that he does want to remain with the Rangers.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I don't know if you saw too. He said that he has no idea why he was scratched for that game, for Game 6.
And then I guess Gallant said, trying to win a hockey game, just dressing my lineup. When we sit down, talk about our lineup, that's what we do. We love the kid. He's a good young player, but we thought that was the best lineup to win with that game.
That's bullshit.
And then wasn't Reeves a scratch as well? I thought I saw that. Really? You're positive?
No.
Wait, no, you're positive, or no, you are?
No, I'm not positive.
Okay.
I thought he was playing.
Because that's another, let's see. I can't. I guess we'd have to look at the box score.
Let's see. Ryan Reeves is not in on the box score here.
See, that's questionable too, because you just think about the intensity. And I know, we're going back to the well here, and obviously it's done and over with, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's not good, dude.
And last thing I want to see before we wrap up shop here, just looking at free agents. No chance the Rangers would get Malkin, huh?
I don't think so.
What about Claude Giroux?
I could see that. Is he still with Philly?
Florida.
He is on Florida.
Yeah. $8.2 million last season. Wow, Kessel made 6-8 with Arizona last year. Seems kind of high for him, no?
Good player.
And then also, how about Chris Letang? Imagine if the Rangers get him to play defense.
That's a veteran defenseman right there, yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely a couple guys out there. Just trying to see other defensemen. Subban now.
Hell no.
Subban, $9 million. Isn't he completely washed?
He's so washed. The guy can't skate.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, there's some interesting names for sure. And Goudreau. I know he's a left winger, but he's a free agent as well. Any possibility there?
I have to give up a lot for him.
Yeah, it's tough, and because like right now too, Shesterkin's not playing with any type of significant money, right?
No.
So I think it's kind of tough. You think about all the guys that they're gonna have to pay. Like they can't to bring outside guys. They're gonna have to trade some guys away.
Yeah, they're gonna.
So it'll be an interesting offseason for sure, and obviously we'll keep an eye out for what they do, and of course the Stanley Cup final between the Lightning and the Avalanche
Tomorrow.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, and then starting Thursday, Tony, U.S. Open, Brookline Country Club in Massachusetts. I told you about the 57-year-old that qualified.
Yeah,
good story.
Wait, Brookline Country Club
in Massachusetts.
Where in Mass?
Brookline.
In Brookline?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think that'll be interesting. Phil's been talking to the media. No sponsorships on his arms. He's growing the mullet out with a little bit of a beard.
Oh no.
Didn't play well in this tournament. I think he's washed. I think he's never going to win a tournament again. Sold his soul. Gambling debt.
Never again.
Dude, I mean, think about how old he is. And then to have all of this, his head's
got to be around. Yeah.
But
that's a shame.
It'll be interesting. But other than that, Tony, as we come to a close here, the toughest thing to see is anything I got, Tony.
No, not
let's
yet,
go
dude.
Mets.
Let's go Mets. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, right? I mean, for both of our sakes, let's go Sakura. But another great show, and I appreciate Matt stopping by to hang for a little bit.
Love
and,
that.
Of course, all of our fan interaction, and we encourage everybody to continue to comment, like, and subscribe. And obviously, check out the archives on the YouTube page,
Tony in costume.
as well as the summer collection,
As well as the spring collection.
You bastard.
I mean, now we're basically summer, or I guess technically the 22nd is summer.
Technically, yeah. So you got time.
So, like that's
So-
they gotta change that.
As well as the spring collection.
We'll get right down the timestamp summer collection at downtimetv.com. We'll get that updated. But we want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you
Wasn't ready.
mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.